Let's start with that QB change in Cleveland. Go ahead, Adam.
Laura, we have a 41st different quarterback in Cleveland since the franchise returned there in 1999. We have the third different rookie quarterback to start this season, and we couldn't ask or expect a more difficult assignment for Dillon Gabriel, who will have to go to London to make his first NFL start, and he'll have to do it against a talented Vikings defense that Brian Flores oversees. He'll see a variety of looks, blitzes, whatever it may be, but it's going to be a difficult, challenging outing for Dillon Gabriel. The Browns are hoping that Dillon Gabriel can provide the type of spark that Jackson Dart brought last week to the New York Giants, who upset the Los Angeles Chargers and had a bit more juice to their game. Now the Browns will do the same. You'd have to figure that, like the Giants, they will tailor the offense to Dillon Gabriel, run the types of plays that he's comfortable running, that he ran in college. There'll be a different look, a different energy, a different everything to the Browns offense as they go to play the Vikings in London on Sunday morning.
Yeah, not necessarily the defense you would want to go against, but we said that about Jackson Dart too. So new on NFL Live, here's Kevin Stefanski and Dillon Gabriel on the change today.
I think you just have to do everything in your power, Cam, to get ready for when your number is called. Certainly at the quarterback position, it's different than wide receiver where there's just one guy out there, so there's one rep to go around and you have to do everything in your power. But it's no different than a left tackle making his first start or a defensive tackle making his first start or a safety or what have you. It's it's going to be the first time for Dillon on Sunday, but you try to build off of all your experiences.
It's part of my job, to be ready, to be that, sense of hope for everyone to continue to be better and come together and create momentum for each other. So excited for that, but just also extremely focused at doing my job at a high level.
All right, now Dillon Gabriel played plenty of football in 6 seasons in college, playing at UCF, Oklahoma, and then finishing at Oregon. His 63 starts, 189 touchdowns responsible for, are the most by any quarterback in FBS history. The QB carousel continues to go around in Cleveland. As Adam told you, I just want to say this again. Gabriel will be the Browns' 41st different starting quarterback since Cleveland returned to the NFL in 1999. If you're keeping track, that's 11 more than any other franchise. So glad you're with us today. Dan Orlovsky, Andrew Hawkins, Field Yates. We got a lot to get to. This is a super busy day.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Well, let's do it then. Dan, does this decision make sense for the Browns right now? As we said, they're facing off against the Vikings defense in London.
I would have started in week 1, but here we are week 4, okay? So only thing left to do, 2 things. Number 1, it's recon for this season, from this moment for the rest of the season if you're the Cleveland Browns. Did you find Andy Dalton, a Derek Carr, a Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott? That's really, outside of trying to win a game, that's the only thing that's left. Is Dillon Gabriel a guy for you? I think the second thing, and just directly to the field, Kevin Stefanski's offense, the fundamental part of it was always play action. It's the second worst play action pass offense in the NFL right now. That has to be the backbone of Gabriel. It's got to come back to be the foundational part of this offense. If he can do that, that's at least a box checked of, okay, can he be the guy for the future? But it's all about, is this dude any good or not?
Yep. It's a dramatic style change, by the way, from Joe Flacco. Joe to Dillon, if you saw the two standing next to each other, it's a gigantic discrepancy in literal size. Joe's 6'6", Dillon Gabriel about my size. He's a lefty versus a right-handed quarterback, but also the way in which Joe plays. Joe was a very methodical quarterback, especially at this stage of his career. What I like most about Dillon Gabriel during his last season of college football, which was at Oregon, his third of 3 stops during his college career. Very urgent player. What I mean by that is basically within every play of that Oregon playbook, he had to make a decision. Are we running, we passing? Somewhere in between for Dillon Gabriel. He always played with an urgency about him, and also was a good athlete too. This is not Lamar Jackson or a player of that caliber, but he can hurt you with his legs, which obviously Joe, behind an offensive line that has dealt with some injuries and lack of talent, candidly, this past year. 9 sacks taken by Joe in the first 4 games. Maybe not as much pressure for Dillon Gabriel just because of the mobility he brings to the table.
You knew the decision was coming. It probably came a couple of weeks earlier than I expected, but if you watched that offense last week, although the Lions are a good team, it looked very uninspired, right? They're dropping passes. They're not on the same page with Flacco and the wide receivers. And with Dillon Gabriel, everything you said, Phil, is exactly right. And a lot of that is instinctual. Like, he sees it and he gets the ball out. Yes, he's undersized, but he has a great feel for when to throw and his ball placement. Even in the preseason, you saw it on some of those, field out routes where literally he's putting the ball in spaces that you don't see a lot of quarterbacks that are able to do it. He moves better in the pocket. So there's going to be opportunities. The big picture for the Browns is, can we get a good evaluation on him this year to see exactly what we have?
I think that's the question that we probably know the answer to. They don't really have a number one receiver. I tell you, Jerry Jeudy's probably a number two receiver. And then their number three is a younger player. So their talent outside of the perimeter is not remotely close to what you would want for a starting quarterback.
But he could show something, right? To
Totally.
Say, okay,
Oh,
we've
totally.
maybe struck some gold here.
The Cleveland Browns made the change. They went to the rookie quarterback, Dillon Gabriel, over Joe Flacco, the veteran, who now will be benched 1 week after the Giants went to Jackson Dart, got a little spark. The Browns are hoping for the same thing for their rookie third-round draft pick, Dillon Gabriel, who will make his first start Sunday in London against the Vikings and their defensive coordinator, Brian Flores. That will be his true welcome to the NFL moment, playing an international game against Brian Flores. Tough assignment, but the Browns are hoping that he can respond the way Jackson Dart did last Sunday.
Yeah, it's good correlation, right? At least some recent evidence there. In the Browns locker room today, reporters approached Shedeur Sanders to ask about the change. Here's his reaction.
Vocally, anything to say about?
Enjoying yourself and having fun.
That's what do you think you have to show to
All right, so that was not an audio issue. Shedeur pantomimed his answers. Adam, go ahead.
Well, a few things here to keep in mind. First of all, I'm told that was Shedeur Sanders' way of responding to Rex Ryan, who was very critical of Shedeur Sanders earlier in the week or last week, saying that Shedeur Sanders should not open his mouth, should not talk to the media, should do this and do that. And so today, that was Shedeur's response at Rex Ryan, as it's been explained to me. But in the end, when you are essentially imitating a clown doing a pantomime, you yourself wind up looking like a clown. Most people don't realize that he's trying to send a message to Rex Ryan. And it comes on a day where the Browns have benched Joe Flacco. They're starting a rookie quarterback from his draft class. And there's a time and a place for everything. That's not the time and place to try to get back at Rex Ryan. That's the time and place to conduct yourself in a professional way, to answer a few questions, and to step aside. Instead, he decided to mime the answers. Everybody has their own ideas about how funny and entertaining this was or wasn't. He was obviously delivering it as a message to Rex Ryan, which is lost on most of the public, but it doesn't come off as a professional look.
Yeah, it's valuable context, Adam, but what you said after that I think is most important. Field, what's your reaction?
I understand Shedeur is frustrated because this is a player that thought throughout the pre-draft process he might go as high as pick number 1 overall. He ended up going in the 5th round. I get it. I know the frustration. 144 picks is a long time to wait. The best way to get your revenge for the 32 teams that bypassed you 4 times at least, and many teams ahead of the Browns in the 5th round bypassed them again, is to play great football if and when you get your opportunity. And it feels like all this does is just add to the noise around Shedeur Sanders. I think ultimately the best way he can make noise is going on the football field and proving that he can play. And I just feel like these kind of things create more distraction, not just for him, but for the entire locker room. I get it. This is a situation that has circled around him during the pre-draft process. But now he's a Cleveland Brown. And now his head coach, maybe Dillon Gabriel and other players in this locker room are going to have to deal with more people asking questions about a player who right now, is a third-string quarterback. Normally, you never hear from the third-string quarterback at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I was going to say he's the most talked about 5th rounder we've ever seen. He's the most talked about third stringer we've ever seen. And there's things that come with that. So for Shedeur, again, I know he's doing his thing and he's just trying to go through the process, answer back to what he thinks Rex Ryan, the context is lost. The best thing you can do is keep your head down. Your opportunity will come. And all of this precursor stuff will not matter if you perform.
Are you helping yourself in your own building by acting this way?
No, not a bit.
Are you helping yourself outside of the building?
No.
There's 64 jobs like that in the world. You're not helping yourself. Whether you like what Rex said or not, whether you agree with what Rex said or not, when you play quarterback, you're always going to deal with it. I don't care if you're the third stringer, the second stringer, or the starter.
Yeah.
Would Patrick ever do this?
Oh.
Jalen Hurts has been killed for 3 years publicly by the media.
Yeah.
He doesn't respond to it ever. With Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar.
I'm trying to think of this isn't even a great comp, but like Bryce Young, like when he got benched, he never handled it any bad way. Shedeur hasn't even been benched. He hasn't even
started. We've had Baker Mayfield when he was younger. He certainly had some fiery moments.
Yes.
But are you helping yourself in your building? Yeah. No. Are you helping yourself outside of it? No.
And to your point, Baker Mayfield, from some of those things, that's part of the reason he's not a part of the Browns organization.
Sure.
And by the way, what do you think Baker would say right now if you asked him about how he answered in those times? Do you think he'd say, that was great for me? He'd probably say, I learned a lot from that. I wish I hadn't done it that way.
He still has the chip on his shoulder, and yet he can answer things in a professional manner. All right, so that's what happened there.